Hey everybody, KC here. So the chairman of Tesco, as we've reported here in the past, a guy named John Allan, has had to step down. And the reason is because of accusations of inappropriate touching and remarks. Okay, so it ends up that he's copped to the inappropriate remarks, at least one of them. And although he keeps denying the inappropriate touching things. And but now he's given an interview in the UK where he says, and I quote, "A lot of men say to me that they're getting increasingly nervous about working with women, mentoring women, something I've done a lot of right through my career. What quite a few people are saying to me and saying to others that I know is that they're going to be very cautious in the future about how they interact with women in the business world." Okay, so first of all, give me a break. Nobody is going to feel sorry for any guy who says, I'm feeling really nervous about being around women in the business world, because I don't know, for centuries, women have had to be careful about men, have been concerned about men, have been nervous around men because of inappropriate touching and remarks. So give me a break. Don't expect anybody to feel bad for you. Second of all, I get the idea that there's some confusion right now in the workplace about social interactions, none of which will really be a problem as long as people actually behave professionally. Yes, you should be careful about how you deal with women in the workplace, and women should be careful how they deal with men in the workplace. It's entirely appropriate that people should behave appropriately. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Listen, I've worked with a lot of women in my career. I've worked for a few women in my career. I never had a problem. Everybody behaved professionally. Everybody would behave the way they were supposed to behave. It's not an issue if you actually treat people professionally. And finally, I would argue that this guy, John Allan, has now pretty much disqualified himself from ever having a leadership in any public company ever again. I mean, what woman would want to work with him or for him? And since women make up more than half the workplace, in fact, I checked, and in the UK, more than 70% of the workplace in the UK is made up of women, he's pretty much established that it's time to turn this 74-year-old guy out to pasture. Not because he's 74, not because of his age, but because of the age of his ideas. So the beginning of Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart starts out this way. "True, nervous, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am, but why will you say that I am mad?" And the story is about a valet who kills his wealthy employer and hides his dismembered body under the floorboards in his bedroom. But when the police come, the valet believes that he can hear the man's heart still beating, and that the cops are just feigning the idea that they can't hear it. And he thinks they know he's guilty, but they're just stringing him along. And he hears the heart beating louder and louder and louder until he yells at the police, "Dissemble no more, I admit the deed, tear up the planks, here, it is the beating of his hideous heart." And I thought of this story because of all of you people out there who are guilty of inappropriate remarks and touching. That beating you hear is the heartbeat of a culture that simply won't stand for it anymore. So cut the crap or get out. That's what's on my mind. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.